Hello, and the title of the project is Prajapati's Painted Body. It will be the first body to be painted in three-dimensional space, using ultra-lightweight polylactic acid and nanotech-infused graphene. It will be able to support its own weight, thus defying gravity. The project is about immersing into the space you are designing to learn a new craftsmanship that can progress our learning of architecture. And this technique will become the new tool and reach in the hand of the end user, the Shilpakar craftsman. And therefore, propose a third digital turn, the end of the projected image, the start of a haptic experience. The exemplar body tree was one of the only trees that survived during the Kathmandu earthquake in 2015. What makes it a successful case is that that buttress root entangles the temple, it wraps it, and it kept it in place. Thus, how can you use this inspiration? How we use this inspiration is combining with the painting model and combining with the painting model and with the VR. So how can a brushstroke have architectural and structural qualities? Pancaking. In 2015, the devastating earthquake in Kathmandu has hit and destroyed millions of houses. So it has questioned local intelligence, brick and wood. So it has raised really serious concern about Newari architecture. So this is Prajapati's house, and this is how he currently lives, under the house which is under collapse. And he's the most renowned printmaker in Kathmandu. So this is what happened in 2015. So this is indeed a demand for a new earthquake-resilient structure and material for the Newari. So ending the era of pancakes architecture and a new levitation craftsmanship. Bodhi. Bodhi is the temple of paint, and Kathmandu is a city of temples. The temple above all others is Bodhi, the largest stupa. Here the stupa is coated once a week with different local pigments, and it ritualizes paint with a stepwell, which is a socioeconomic hierarchical device. So here lies a new opportunity. How can three-dimensional paint defy gravity? How can it resist lateral forces? And how can it suspend and levitate spaces? So by combining the local intelligence of painting into the new technique of 3D painting as a tool to design and build all in once. Paint Cloud. So here we are in Paint Cloud. You immerse into the VR, where you can choose different brush tools. And different brush tools will have compression and different material qualities and structural qualities. And here I'm immersed and painting. And it records what you're drawing. It records the 3D painting. So the robot what does, it vectorizes and calibrates the information and adjusts it to the map algorithm. So indeed, here I am recording my painting and thus outputted into the robot arm. And so how can you immerse into the space you're designing? Now we're finally here, the end of the projected image, in Mario Carper's view, where the Renaissance perspectival is being phased out by the rise of digital technology, of UAV mapping, photogrammetry, BIM, and ultimately 3D painting. Shilpakar. The Shilpakar are the extremely skillful craftsmen in Kathmandu. And they will adopt this new technique of 3D painting. And they will adopt the mudras, which is in yogic practice, specific postures that they will paint with their hands. And astamangalas are the ritual objects and tools, for example, to chamfer paint. So the project is about performing surgery and healing the existing ground conditions of the city. And above, then, you have the intermediate space and the levitated temple. So the first phase is it heals the heritages. So here you have the Prajapati's house under construction. And then a catapult that will lift the timber frames. So it will be a composite of timber frames with 3D paint, which will isolate from seismic forces. And then lastly, the surgical treatment, which thousands of robot arms would actually paint it, and the drones would coordinate the UAV mapping. So, indeed, this will allow more personal autonomy, allows more creativity, as you are putting these tools back in the hands of the end user, the Shilpakal craftsman. They can tailor and personalize their architecture based on their individual needs. Gigalitation. Gigalitation is one thing to consider when living in the structure is that it can jiggle, basically. It's and here where the pendulums can cancel out lateral forces. So as well, like for example, this is the earthquake simulator. So it can have some effects. For example, to Nakula, who is a creature that vomits jewels because she suffers from nausea due to seismic oscillations. So by introducing this new intelligence, it paves the way for new realm of architecture. Indeed, that is a means in itself, how it changes architecture. It provides a new tool, a new category, cutting out the middleman, so allowing more a reactive construction methodology, a more rapid feedback, evaluation and learning, which progresses the field of architecture. The design criteria for the new areas that is made out of timber frames, and on the top you have the puja room, the most sacred part of the room, and the stupa is coated with the paint. Then you have the gate entry, which is the main entrance lift from the lift shaft, which takes you to the entrance to a printmaking factory. And if we compare to the current, to the new living, is that Prajapati is here with Kawanka, one of his favorite assistants, and his son, Suyog, living in the factory and living room. So it's also about intricacy of the geofenestrations. The more intricate the geofenestrations are, the higher the cast is. So it's also you have the Kashta Mandapa frames, which would levitate from the ground, and the Naga Serpentius joinery, which is these intricate timber frames, which would isolate and damp the structures. And the Chusya Bahar, which is a seismic repellent fir. So here, to seismic repel the fir. Before the Renaissance, the main vehicle of sending data was verbal. Images were described using the word ut pictur poesis. The media covered from visual to spatial. Alberti's perspectival image was to record as precisely and economically as possible. But now, finally, we're here, from representational to haptical. So what does this mean? We want to paint the world. In the past, sculptures and drawings were two separate entities. We no longer need to begin with the flatland screen, which separates us from designing and building. Prajapati's painted body is the third digital turn, the end of the projected image, giving us to back to the craftsman, and a technique for them to use with more rapid feedback and learning. From shifting the way we build, and now we're finally here, the Nuari haptic experience, the first dimensional canvas. Thank you.